Say Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai, Brakata Yahweh, Brakata Yahushai. First and foremost, we want to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and elders who rule well at Great Millstone. And a blessed salutation to the Akyam, to the folk on the earth, to pushing the gospel and sincerity and truth. Shalom. This evening, I come the next lesson to feed the church of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. You know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indian. I want to touch on this precept in Ephesians chapter 2, and I want to touch on verse 11 and verse 12, you know, to give the understanding to the church, you know, to feed the church of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai, you know, with this video epistle, right? I'll start off with Ephesians 2 and 11. He said, wherefore remember that he being in time past Gentile in the flesh, right? Being the Israelites, you know, who stopped walking in the ordinance of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai and start walking in the ordinance of the heathen nation. They were called Gentile because it was in a Gentile state of mind. You know, the brothers who in the truth, you know, the sincere brothers can testify to this, because before Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai wake you up to who he was, right, who we are as Israelites, as the Son of God, Yasharallah, right, we were walking in the mindset being of this other nation, right, calling ourselves of these other nation and walking in the custom of these other nation. So we were in a Gentile state of mind, not knowing who we are, right, as a people, right. He said, wherefore remember that he being in time past Gentile in the flesh, right, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called uncircumcision in the flesh made by hands, right. So we were called uncircumcision by them who were circumcised, right. That was happening in Jerusalem, right, when Judah, Benjamin, and Levi were calling the other tribes uncircumcised, because it was walking in the ways of the Gentiles, right. It was walking in the ordinance of the Gentiles, right. And we go to the record and prove that a lot of Israelites turned away from the heritage of Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai and followed the ways of the heathens, right. This is Romans 2 and 25. For circumcision verily profit if thou keep the law. It profit if you keep the law, right. But if thou be a breaker of the law, thy circumcision is made uncircumcision. So these Israelites break the law by rejecting Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai and follow the ways of the heathen. So I'll go into the Apocrypha in the account where this happened. So we're going back to the history, why our people in this day still in the mindset of a Gentile mindset of the other nation, by walking the ordinance of the other nation. Because this thing happened back when the wicked king Antiochus, which is the so-called white man, right, who came and sacked Jerusalem, right. So we get this record why it was called uncircumcised, right. This is First Maccabees chapter 1 and start from verse 11. A matter of fact, let me start from verse 7. He says, so Alexander reigned 12 years and died. So Alexander was a Greek, was a so-called white man, and his servant bare rule every one in his place, and after his death they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them, and many years, and evil were multiplying the earth. So you white people, everywhere you go, use bring evil, use death, right. You use the wicked that the Bible speak of, right. He said, and there came out of them a wicked root, Antiochus, son in Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been an hostage in Rome, and regained in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks, right. So you Edomites. He said, in those days went out of Israel wicked men, who persuade many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathens that are round about us, for since we depart from them we have had much sorrow. So wicked Israelites leave the heritage that Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai gave them, which is the covenant, which is the last statutes and commandments. They leave that and went and follow the way of the heathens, right. Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward, hearing that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinance of the heathen. So they forsook Yahweh B'Ashem Yahushai and followed the way of the heathens, right. He said, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the custom of the heathen, because the gymnasium is according to the custom of the heathens. Gymnasium come back to what? Being naked, right? Place of exercise. Verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised. This is Israel, and made themselves uncircumcised. So you go back to Ephesians 2 and 11, it said, wherefore remember that he, being in time past Gentiles in the flesh, because of forsake the law, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. So Paul was telling them about the history. Remember what you did. So he was reminding them what y'all did in time past. Y'all forsook the law, Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and walk in the ways the heathen. So he said, remember, wherefore remember that he, being in time past Gentile in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called the circumcision in the flesh made in hand. So Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, who was in Jerusalem, was calling the other tribes who forsook the law of Yahweh Hashem. He was calling them were uncircumcised, or calling them Gentiles, right? So Paul was reminding them about the history what it did, right? Right. So verse 15. He said, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant. One of the covenants was that to circumcise your son at the 8th day, on the 8th day, right? Circumcise the foreskin of your rod, right? He said, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief, right? I'm going to jump into verse 41. First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41. He said, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. And the Most High not dealing with that. And this is same thing to come with this new world order. Everybody should be in one. The Most High not dealing with that. The Most High destroyed it before with Babel, in the Babylonian kingdom. The Most High destroyed that, right? And he can do it again this time, right? Verse 42, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agree according to the commandment of the king. So the heathen agree. All the heathen, they are heathen. They are beasts. They don't know right from wrong. They are beasts, right? Verse 43. Yea, he said, yea, many also of the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latins, and Native Americans, and you're doing it today. Today, recently, I was celebrating was Saturnella, the festival of Christmas. Saturnella, right? Going back to worshiping the death of the Messiah. This way y'all do celebrating the death of the Messiah. That's wickedness, right? And the Messiah didn't even born on Christmas Day, the 25th of December. You can't find it nowhere in the scriptures saying that he said celebrate his birthday on 25th of December. That's wickedness. That's the way the heathens, right? It said, yea, and many also of the Israelites consent unto his religion, and sacrifice unto idols, and profane the Sabbath. And the so-called Christmas Day gone back then, when was Monday? There was the Sabbath day. They are profaned the Most High Sabbath day by celebrating what Christmas, eating all kind of bumble meat, right? So speaking about you Israelite who forsake the Most High Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. They're speaking about you because the same thing you did in your past life, right? And yes, the Bible speaks about reincarnation too, right? Verse 44, for the king had sent letter by messenger unto Jerusalem and the city of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land. And as you people find today, the strange law of the land. Christmas is a strange law, is a strange law. Carnival, Valentine, all these is the way the heathens, right? There's not the custom that you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians supposed to be walking in. No, you're supposed to walk in the last statute commandment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, which is the Sabbath, which is the Passover, the Feast of Unleavened Bread, the Feast of Tabernacle, the Feast of Weeks, the Feast of Dedication, the Feast of Purim. This is the custom that you're supposed to walk with. This is holy and righteous custom unto Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. This is what he give us to do, right? Verse 45, and forbid burnt offering and sacrifice and drink offering in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. And this is what they do. They don't keep the holy feast days of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. They don't know it, right? Because they forsook it back then. They forsook it, right? So they forget it. Verse 46, and pollute the sanctuary and the holy people. You so-called Negro, Latin, and Native American Indian are a holy people. Holy means separate. The Most High separate us from these other heathen nations. Right? Verse 47, and set up altar and grove and chapel of idols and sacrifice swine flesh and unclean beasts. So swine flesh is an unclean beast. And the Most High command us not to eat that. And you just eating that. Right? Verse 48, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised. Let me read this again. 1 Maccabee, verse 1 and 48. 1 Maccabee chapter 1, verse 48. That they should also leave their children uncircumcised, and made their soul abominable with all manner of unclean and profanation. Profanation. Right? Verse 49. To the end they might forget the law. And this is what they do. They forget the law and change all the ordinance. And this is what they do. They change all the ordinance. Right? They change it. Let me get a quick precept quick. Right? This is Jeremiah 17 and 4. Right? This is Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 4. He said, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I give thee. What's the heritage? The last statutes and commandment. Right? They keep the Most High holy days, the Most High feast days. Right? And the high holy days. Y'all forget that, but y'all walking the way the heathens. Right? He said, and I will, Jeremiah 17 and 4, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thy heritage that I give thee, and I will cause thee to serve thy enemies in the land which thou knowest not, for he hath kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. Right? For a long period of time. Right? So let's show that how you so-called Negroes, Latin, and Native American Indians started walking the way the heathen. You have forget. Right? You have forsook the covenant that the Most High make with us. Right? 1 Maccabee chapter 1 verse 49, to the end that they might forget the law and change all the ordinance. Verse 50, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die. So they was killing us back then. If we circumcise we children, they was killing us. If we keep the Sabbath, they was killing us. If we keep the Passover, they was killing us. The Feast of Tabernacle, the Feast of Dedication, the Feast of Period, they was killing us. Right? If we keep those things, they was destroying us. Right? He said, and whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he should die. In the self-same manner wrote he to his whole kingdom, and appointed overseer over all people, commanding the city of Judah to sacrifice city by city. He said, then many of the people were gathered unto them, to wit, every one that forsook the law, and so they commit evil in the land. So a lot of Israelites join on to this man wicked religion. Today you see it. Christianity, Seventh-day Adventist, Roman Catholic. They see it today. All the wickedness. Islam is seeing the wickedness. Because when they forsook the holy covenant that Yahweh Hashem give to them, and they join themselves unto the heathens. Right? They make a covenant with death. Right? Verse 53, and drove the Israelite into secret place. This is the one who stands stiffly. Right? They join unto them. Right? He said, even whosoever they could flee for secure. Verse 54, now the 15th day of the month Casul, in the 140 and 50 years, they set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar. So the abomination of desolation is Antiochus. Right? And build idol altar throughout the city of Judah on every side, and burn incense at the door of their houses and in the streets. He said, and they went and rent in pieces the book of the law which they found. They burned them with fire. So they destroy the Bible. This is what these devils do. They destroy the Bible. Right? And you cool like to say the so-called white man write the Bible. The so-called white man destroying the Bible right now here. And today he doing it too today by printing all these versions and speaking all these blasphemy about the Bible. right? And you Jakes doing the same thing too. And the so-called white man was burning up our books, our record back then, right? First Maccabees chapter 56. First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 56. And when they had rent in pieces the book of the law which they found, they burned them with fire. And whosoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consent to the law, the king commandment was that they should put him to death. So if you find your own with the Bible, reading and keeping the laws of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and keeping the feast days of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, the king command was to put you to death. That's why a lot of Israelites went and joined with the heathens. It was strainless unto them. They was getting prosecuted, and the rest of them rather die and flee. Right? It's verse 58. Thus they did by their authority unto the Israelites every month, to as many as were found in the city. Now the 25th day of the month they did sacrifice upon the idol, upon the idol altar, which was upon the altar of the Most High. He said, at which time, according to the commandment, they put to death certain woman that had caused their children to be circumcised. So they put to death these women who circumcised the children, right? He said, and they hung the infant about their neck, and rifled their houses, and slew them that had circumcised them, and slew them that circumcised. So the men who circumcised the children, they slew them too. And they killed the mother, and they killed the infant. They hung them by the neck. This is what this devil do to us. Right? This is what this devil do. This is why Apostle Paul said, yo, wherefore remember. In Ephesians 2:11, remember. This is the history Paul is telling you, remember. Right? This is the history. That's why this devil take out these apocrypha out of the Bible too. Because these 14 books belongs to the Bible. Right? Right? It's verse 2. Howbeit many in Israel were fully resolved and conformed in themselves not to eat any unclean thing. Wherefore they choose rather to die, that they might not be defiled with meat, and that they might not profane the holy covenant. So then they die. He said, and there were very great wrath upon Israel. So a lot of Israel, they die. They said that before died and to join with these heathens. Right? And the time coming again with the microchip, the hour temptation. Right? They're coming too. Right? So here's what Paul was saying here. Right? Back in Ephesians 2:11, he said, wherefore remember that he being in time past Gentile in the flesh, who are called uncircumcision by that which is called circumcision in the flesh made by hands. So the Israelites, the Israelites who was keeping the law were calling the ones who fall off uncircumcision, uncircumcised, because it was walking the way the heathens. Right? Verse 12, Ephesians 2:12. That at that time he were without a Mashiach, without the word. A Mashiach is the word. Yahushua is the word of Yahweh. Right? Being alien from the commonwealth of Israel. Being alien from the commonwealth of Israel. So we check up this word commonwealth. Right? So we're speaking to the Israelite being alien from the commonwealth. Right? So we check up this word commonwealth. Ephesians 2:12. Right? Ephesians 2, right? Ephesians 2:12. Right?
Strong's G 4174. Politeia.
The Greek word is politeia, right? Politeia, it means the administration of civil affairs, a state or commonwealth, citizenship, the right of a citizen. So speaking about the Israelite, right? So he said, at that time, he were without a Mashiach, which is the word, being alien from the. So there was originally from that commonwealth, but it was being alien, stranger from it. Why? Why there was being alien mean stranger? Because they forsook it. They forsook it and fall away the heathen. So he said that at that time, he were without a Mashiach, being alien from the commonwealth of Israel and stranger from the covenants of the promise. So who the covenant was given to? Let me see who the covenants was given to. Right? This is Exodus, right? Exodus 34:27. And the Lord said unto Moses, write thou these words, for after the tenor of these words I have made a covenant with thee and with Israel. This is plain. This is plain. Right? This is Hebrews. So he said covenants, right? It says more than one, right? He said covenants with an S. This is Hebrews chapter 8, verse 7. He said, for if that first covenant had been flawless, then should no place have been sought for a second, right? Because we forsook each and every one, we break the covenant, right? We promise that we can keep the laws, statutes, and commandments that Yahweh Hashem give to us. So we break that covenant. So he make a new covenant with us, right? A new covenant, not with the heathens, right? Anywhere in the scripture you see salvation for the Gentile, is speaking to the Israelite who are in a Gentile state of mind, who wake up knowing that there's Israelite and repent and turn back. This is why Yahweh came and gave us grace. Grace is a period of time to turn back to what? Your heritage, turn back to your custom, turn back to keeping the laws of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? It's verse 8, Hebrews 8:8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Israel and Judah, the Israelites, the native and the Latinos and the Negroes, which is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. Verse 9, not according to the covenant that I made with their father in the day that I took them by their hands to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regard them not, said the Lord. For this is a covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, said the Lord. I will put my laws in their hearts, Salakia, in their mind, and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people. Speaking about the Israelites. The Israelites, right? You can't get wrong that. That is plain. This is Romans 9, right? This is Romans 9, right? This is Romans 9, and get straight to the point. This is Romans 9:3. He said, for I could wish myself for a curse, for a Mashiach, for my brethren, right? He said, for my brethren, my kingsmen, according to the flesh, right? So we check up the word kingsman, right? This is Apostle Paul, right? So we check up this word kingsman, right? Right? We check up this word kingsman, right? Go to Romans 9. Romans 9 and 3, and check up this word kingsman, right? Romans 9 and 3. So this word kingsman, right? We go to this word, right? This
Strong's G 4773.
Sungenes.
Sungenes.
Is the Greek word. So it's a kingsman, right? It's of the same kind. It's a akim, to relate by blood in the wider sense of the same nation or fellow countrymen, right? So Paul was speaking to the Israelites. And who was Paul? Who was Apostle Paul? This is Romans 11:1. He said, I say then, are the Most High cast away his people? The Most High forbid, for I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So Apostle Paul is an Israelite. So he was speaking to the Israelites, right? He said, Romans 9 and 3, for I could wish that myself were a cause for a Mashiach, my brethren, my kinsmen according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertain the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of the Most High, the service back to the prophets, and the promise. So he said the adoption. So we check up this word adoption. Right? Check up this word adoption. Right? So this is Romans 9 and 4. Right? We go into this word adoption. Right? You know, you hypocrites can't get around this. This is all for the Israelites.
5206.
We are to see is the Greek word. We are to see is the Greek word for adoption. It's the adoption as son. That relationship which the Most High was pleased to establish between himself and the Israelite in reference to all other nations. So the Most High chose the Israelite above all nations and over all nations. That's the relationship between the Most High and the Israelites. That's the adoption between the Most High and the Israelites. Right? He said, Romans 9 and 4, he said, who are Israelites, to who pertain the adoption and the glory and the covenants. Right? We read in Exodus 34 and 27 and Hebrews 8 to 10. Right? And the giving of the laws, right? And the service of the Most High and the promise. So who was giving the laws? Let me get it quick. Who was giving the laws? This is Psalms, right? Psalms 1:9. Psalms 147 verse 19. He said he showed his word unto Jacob, his statute and his judgment unto Israel. He had not dwelt so with any nation, and as for his judgment, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. Right? So it was shown unto the Israelites. So back in Ephesians 2 and 12, he said that at that time he were without a Mashiach, being alien from the commonwealth of Israel, and stranger from the covenants of promise, having no hope, and without the Most High in the world. So it was speaking to the Israelites. Right? This was speaking to the Israelite foreigners who scattered in our folk and the earth. Right? We were scattered because we break the covenant that Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, he scatter us. Right? So this was speaking to the Israelites who are in a gentle state of mind, who don't know who they is. Right? So Paul was reminding them what happened in the history, what happened with the dead. So he was reminding them. He said, wherefore remember you were gentle in the flesh, walking in the mindset of these heathen. Right? And with that, with lessons edifying, want to give our praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders who rule with a great millstone, and a blessed sanitation to the Akyams and the folk and the earth to push in the gospel and sincerity and truth. Shalom.